All right, you guys, here we are. Had a little bit of trouble. Are you here with me? Say yes. Say yes, say yes, say yes. Or say no, say no, say no. I am waiting. Yes, thank you, Big Clue. All right, so I realized I'm still was having some internet issues, but you guys were watching this whole process. I'm going to go through it again vocally, really, really quickly, since we have a little bit more time until Bernie comes on. So this is basically the Bats League, the APA Bats League pre-expansion that I'm bringing into Out of the Park Baseball for Cousin Ken Castro. So there it is. There's 400 players. Not too bad. Okay. The other thing here that I'm going to show you guys, it's really cool if you ever want to try this in Out of the Park Baseball yourself. This is the text file from which I'm creating that it's actually putting everybody on the proper team. This thing over here is everybody who's played baseball up to the end of last year. Everybody is in here. And what's nice about this is having this baseball reference ID. You don't need to bring up baseball reference for that, as I showed you in part 1, how to get that out of the URL when you go to that specific player. The nice thing about this Bats PDF that Ken sent to me is I don't have to worry about picking seasons. They're there. But if not, then go into Baseball Reference, Baseball Almanac, or any one of your sources. Pick the year you want to bring in the player. Now, what I'm going to do, since I've already brought these guys in, is I'm going to go ahead and just take them out of here. Okay. And I'm going to call it like maybe Bats 2 or something. But I'm going to show you now what we need to do. All right. Step by step. And there's Sakuni 007. All right. So what you're going to do is basically when you're in WordPad, WordPad has a really cool feature called Find, because you're looking at this thing and there's probably around 20,000 players in here. And it's like, how the hell am I going to search through 20,000 players? I'm going to scroll. You can see this little thing's barely moving. Okay. Well, you don't have to do that. And I'll show you why. So the next player I'm going to bring in, so Johnny Evers was the last one. And so the next player I'm going to bring in is, who's next here in this Cubbies roster? All right, so Augie Galen, 1935. All right, so when I go up here, I'm going to do Control F. All right, now I know that the last guy was an E, Evers, so I can just type in right here, and you don't have to capitalize if you don't want. Galen, find next, and just make sure that direction is down. Just pay attention to your alphabet. Okay, boom. There he is. Okay, close this, and then just pick this up right here. Okay. Copy him, come over to this that you're doing, paste him, comma, and then I'm just going to look here. They're picking him 1935. And then when I set up this league, I just gave each team a unique identifier, and the Chicago Cubs are CHC. Okay. Let's do another while we're talking here. Okay. Somebody has a question here. How do you think Pocket Pennant Run would be for me? So Pocket Pennant Run is a cards and dice game. So how you would, because you can print the cards to a PDF or to Excel, as long as the software that you're using, again, guys, Joe is sightless. If the software you use can read that, you could play Pocket Pennant Run. And I don't know, as far as rolling dice, would you feel the dice, whatever? The dice use colors, red, yellow, and blue, or red, yellow, and green. Can't remember. Red, yellow, and blue, I think it is. But what you could do, Joe, is use a digital dice roller that reads out to you, and just remember that the leftmost die is red, the middle one's yellow, and the last one is, again, I forget the color right now, green or blue, whatever. and then it will read off those numbers. Then you have to be able to go to those cards. And like any cards and dice baseball game, once you get used to, like, everybody knows, all I have to do is say 66 and people know what that means. If you're an Apple player, you know what that means. So if you've done cards and dice before, Joe, I mean, I think it's a really good game. And in fact, it's a little bit more in depth than I thought. It's a pretty good little baseball game. I like it. Enough that I would actually even consider doing, playing out a whole season with it. I love it. Todd B, yep, I am here. These are not going to be like all the time anymore for a while, but I did want to show this. This is something I wanted to show. So there's a part 1, Todd, on how to just bring players into a just general draft pool. And Todd, what you wanted to do in Out of the Park Baseball before, I just figured it out, but now you're doing an Action PC. It is possible to do in Out of the Park Baseball. Players from 1977 and 1982 on the teams you want them to. So a little bit too late, but here we are. Anyhow, this is how you do it. Okay, so we have Augie Galen. Let's go on now. We're going to bring in Jolly Charlie Grimm. Okay, so after you put in, just make sure you put your hard return, because databases, CSV files is what this will be, a comma delimited file. They do read hard returns. Okay, so I'm going to look for Charlie Grimm. All right, and I'm going to come back to this, and I'm going to do find, and I'm going to just type Grimm. All right, when you get to Smiths, you probably want to do that. Click find next, and there's Charlie Grimm. Close this. I already have Charlie Grimm. It's partially done this for me. But again, I need his baseball reference ID, right? Putting it over here on this new line. Okay. For Charlie Grimm and the Cubs, 1931. And then comma, CHC. Charlie Grimm is done. So there's going to be 2 more players that can come in. So Big Clue says, nice to so first Big Clue says, if World's Worst Gamer gets parole, he can show up too. It's good to be back with everybody. Again, warning though, the non-baseball games are going to be starting to come on here too every once in a while. But yeah, so you make the text file first, and I'll show you why, Todd. If you're doing just importing single players at a time, you don't need the text file. This is to mass import players onto teams that you already have set up, a league that you've created in Out of the Park Baseball. Again, it's as much work as Action PC Baseball, but cheaper if you don't have all the seasons. But again, with Action PC, if you're using even if you're using the baseball history collection, you still have to do a player at a time, a player at a time, a player at a time, unless you do what I've taught you guys earlier this year, specify a range of years and let AI managers do a blind draft for you. That's a real fun challenge, especially when you put it in alternate reality mode. Then you're like in a whole new jam already. The other thing about this thing is this is really, really nice. But I want to show you something. So Stan Hack's next in alphabetical order, but I'm going to look for Joe Adcock. Watch what happens here if you're not paying attention to the Control F, the find feature. Okay, so I'm going to type in Adcock. Now, we know he played baseball. We certainly do. And if I do find next, it says cannot find Adcock. What the hell is going on? Well, that's because the direction is looking in is down. You have to choose either up or down in Microsoft Notepad. So now if I choose up and do find next, there's Nathan. Let's close this. There's Joe. He's right there. So when you're doing these and you don't have a nice alphabetical list, like as I'm working from this Apple list, do pay attention to that because I got caught. All right. But name any player and he's in here. So really, really, really good stuff. So Big Clue says with the announcement of Todd B and the heresies begin. But the heretic is not in here. So Ken, if you want me to continue doing that, I'm going to keep creating the thing anyhow. So, but if you want me to create this and put the zip up the quick start and put it for you on the Discord, then you'll have this. Just give me a little time to get it done. But this is nice, I think, for anybody that wants to do this. So while I'm talking to you guys, is there any interest at all? Let's go ahead and save this as bats. Yep. So then I'm not bringing in double players. Any interest at all in the World Series this year, guys? Goodness, I'm not seeing a lot of it. Not seeing a lot of it. So series is tied. You also in here, guys, while we're talking, I can type in Stan Hack's full name and find next and make sure to click down. And it goes right to Stan Hack. And again, so the naming convention in this, how the baseball reference unique ID works, is it's going to be up to 5 letters of the player's last name, 2 letters of his first name, and then a 01. And this would denote he's the first one that has like a Stan Hack. But up here, you can see here we have a Walter Hackett and a Warren Hackett. So Baseball Reference and its database and Out of the Park needs a way to reference these two. Even though Walter and Warren are different names, the WA make the difference. So here we have HACKE, so the beginning of Hackett, and then WA and 01. And then this 02 tells it this is Warren Hacker. So just something to remember. You can't use nicknames. So if you type in Babe Ruth, you're not going to find Babe Ruth. But if you type in Ruth, you'll find him. Okay. More interested in RGL's World Series, to be honest, says Big Clue. Ken, this does have unlimited possibilities for your Bats League because instead of you of course you could shuffle up cards if you wanted and just do them that way, although it would be insane, right, with 400 cards. But still, you could. Or just switch around players. But yeah, with this, you could go back and replay it because I have this, as I said, maybe I didn't say, I have this set to 1930 as the league normalization. So when I do get this done and send it to you, cousin, don't be alarmed at the high offense. I put it in 1930 because I thought it would just be fine. But you could set this, and here's what's nice. I'm not sure how APA does their all-time or their right because they're picking from these seasons. So these guys are sort of normalized to their seasons, but now you can just do default era if you want, or as we do in Action PC Baseball, set it to a year. I was going to do it to 1900, but because you have so many great hitters in here, I didn't want them to suffer. It'd be really weird to see, Hack Wilson and Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig hitting 5 home runs or 10 home runs. So, can you do this in Action 23? I would have to. What I can do, Ken, is I realize you don't have 24. I'm going to create this for 24. I'm going to reinstall Out of the Park 23, bring it in. Unless you want to do it, I can just send you the text file when it's done, and I'll show you how that import works here in a minute. And then you can import it right into 23. So this database or this thing that I'm creating here, Ken, it doesn't care what I'm going to use it for. It really, really doesn't. So this will work for Out of the Park 24, but the zip file, the quick start I'm going to have to make will have to be for Out of the Park 23 because you can't take something that's done for Out of the Park 24 and move it backwards. But you can always move forwards, but that's not a problem. It takes a couple minutes. So yeah. But you can actually, what I'm showing you how to do, you can do this in Out of the Park 23 and roll your own. So, yeah. Don't let me down. Welcome in, Robert. Good to see you. Everybody's more interested in your World Series than the actual World Series. Just want to let you know. Out of the Park Baseball 2024 is usually at around 15 December or somewhere around there. Steve Tate would know better, although he's probably not allowed to tell us. He's a beta tester there. So yeah, guys, Action PC 2024. Wonder what they're going to do next. All right, next one I'm going to do is Hall of Famer Gabby Hartnett. Okay, so again, let's go back here. Let's do Control F, and You do have to type in the whole name. You have to type. I mean, if you do Hart, you can, but why go to all the trouble? Just go right to Gabby Hartnett. Start thinking of the possibilities of what you can do with something like this. It's pretty amazing. And there's a great quick start that I use, an all-time great quick start that you could even avoid all this. But again, you're dealing with the entirety of baseball history. So, and this is kind of nice. It's kind of chill, right? So for Gabby Hartnett, it's what, 1930? So I'm just going to put in 1930, comma, CHC. Gabby Hartnett is ready. Do a few more. JT Dutch. Yeah. So JT, I hope you saw in the Discord that I'm not going to be broadcasting as often. And when I do, it's going to be pretty random, as I do want to catch up on a lot of games. I'm so behind on Robert's games because of my work schedule. I want to, keep up with what Legends is doing in his league, because the Oakland A's are going to repeat again, probably for the next 10 seasons. Dwayne, everybody else is doing, there's so much baseball. Today, there were 3 baseball broadcasts going on at the same time. I wasn't even on. It was Kurt Berglund, ID Jester, believe it or not, who's starting to play some baseball again. And there was somebody else. And there were 3 baseball broadcasts going on at the same time. So it's pretty crazy out there. It's Wild West. So can the Dodgers clinch the title? It's gonna be the A's. It's gonna be the A's again in Legends League. It's gonna be the Oakland A's. Lefty Grove is actually having a really good season this year there, and Waddell, I guess, but Waddell, at least the last time I tuned in, wasn't looking as sharp. But I need to look at those stats. I know that Legends put them up there. But we're more excited about the projects we're doing. Robert's World Series. Legends Franchise Stars Baseball League, Dwayne Martz's 1961 Braves and Yankees replay. And yes, Ken McGreevy is coming up soon. We're more excited about those things than the actual Baseball World Series, and that's kind of crazy. Let's bring in Billy Herman. So again, back here. And we're going to type Billy Herman's, because there's a few more Hermans in baseball. Oh, and there he is. And so this is unique. You're not going to find it anywhere else. If you guys want this file that I'm working from, I will zip it and I will put it in the Discord as well. Really, really nice. Really, really nice to use. Whoops, 1930 and CHC. Yeah, Dwayne was on twice today. He's the streaming demon. The Yankees have won 14 straight games. Damn it. That is crazy. Big clue if you're serious, or if you're just kind of paraphrasing Devo. So I have this in 2 versions, a comma delimited file and also in a Excel spreadsheet. So, or Excel work page, whatever. If you guys want, I'll zip it up, download it. Feel free to use it. It's really, really a lot of fun for creating leagues in out of the park baseball, or another one that you could use, or for games that use IDs like this that allow. So if any of you play Baseball Mogul, you would need this information in Baseball Mogul. Another game that uses this kind of ID is Diamond Mine Baseball. So, but I think this is really, really useful for out of the park baseball. Super useful. Big question. Can your surprising Pirates get into the postseason? You know what, Legends? I would be super happy, considering we don't have our big guns yet. We don't have Wagner. We don't have Clemente, Paul Wainer. Some of the other great ones. I'm trying to remember. Is Arky Vaughn? Yeah, Arky Vaughn is in the league, right? I would be super happy, because if we can make it to your postseason without having the big capital P Pirate Legends, man, I'd be super happy. But I know they're behind the Cardinals right now a little bit, so we'll see. You use it now, the park baseball, then I will definitely zip it up, man. So Arky Vaughn is not even in there yet. Holy Jesus. And Bob Elliott's a third. Wow. So yeah, none of the Not too many. What? So Willie Stargell's in there. I'm trying to think trying to remember what some of the big pirates. There's not a lot of big pirates in there yet in your League Legends. Not a lot of them yet. And I'm like, I'm waiting. It's like, come on, where's Clemente? Where's Wagner? Apparently, where's Archie Vaughn? Because with Wagner and Vaughn, you can play Vaughn at shortstop and play Wagner at third, and you're set. Stargell's our big gun and our only big gun, right? Yeah. So all right. So I've said that I'm even going to say the word on my channel now. So Legends, I got to ask you, man. I was watching you the other night do the Madden thing, and I get about the helmets and stuff in football, but that looked no more like Terry Bradshaw than some alien from Star Wars. It's like, come on. That, like, I know it for you guys, maybe it doesn't kill the immersion, but he looked like some evil dwarf or something. God, that's crazy. Really, really crazy. Dude, when I looked at Legends, because I'm not a fan, but I know what Terry Bradshaw looks like. I know what, a lot of these players. I know you mentioned on there that they do a little bit better with African-American players than they do with white players, right? And boy, are you right. That didn't look like Terry Bradshaw at all. Oh my God. It looked like, seriously, like something out of like Hogwarts or something. It was weird. But then I watched you play out a little bit of a game, and it looks beautiful. It's a beautiful game when everybody's out on the field. It looks amazing. But EA's got the money. Holy shit. Just allow people to model faces and have actual blonde hair on people, right? God, it's nuts. Yeah, it is Robbie's birthday today. So Legend says about Madden, they don't even have a single light blonde hair model. It's a simple mustache with no beard model. It's lazy crap. It is, considering the money EA has. I was watching you doing that. I'm like, are you serious? Terry Bradshaw, like, he has this nose, man. He looks like, I don't know. I'm serious. But it is a great looking game. And if I was a football fan, I would definitely play it. So, yeah, he says the game is great. Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful looking game. It really, really is. Except that was like, oh my God. But yeah. Hey, there's Doug. How you doing, man? All right. So what I'm going to do now is show you the import part. I could sit here and just do players until Bernie comes on. So let's do file, and I'm just going to make sure that this is saving to the proper directory. Again, I'm one of those people that likes to work on desktop, but Out of the Park Baseball won't go to desktop like some weird thing. It will, but it won't. So this is in my C bats directory. Save. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to minimize this. All right. Now I want to bring those players onto this Cubs team I already set up. So up here in the middle, whatever you call your league. So I just BL for Bats League. I want to go to transactions. Okay. And I want to go to actions. And I want to import historical players. I'm going to select the file. And it's here. And I'm going to click OK, import players. And then click OK again. And then I'm going to go back to the Cubs team home screen. And I don't have any, whatever lineups. But there they are. They're already, now they're automatically assigned. Haven't set any lineups or anything like that. But everybody is here so far down to, down to Billy Herman. So I've got 4 more Cubs players to do, 10 pitchers to do. It's 15 players, 10 pitchers, and then the Cubs will be ready. So it's really that easy to do this. Watch part 1 to learn how to clear out that draft pool, though, that the game will do when you're doing fictional teams, real player, or like a fictional universe. It will populate, but it's very easy. It's one click of the mouse and they're gone. And then you can do this. No muss, no fuss, just a lot of listening to some good music. Again, everybody's complete record is in here. So let's look at Johnny Evers. So we look at Evers again. So for Evers, if you notice, guys, we brought in Johnny Evers for 1912. So it's only showing stats from 1910 and 1911. However, when I click on real life stats, now I have Johnny Evers' complete career from 1902 to 1970. Well, and also 1922. He came back 5 years later and played a game. Don't know what the story was in that. But yeah, really, really, really nice. And super, super easy to do. Still a lot of work. Again, just like Action PC Baseball, though, you want to set up logos, you want to set up ballparks. But you guys know how to do that. I don't have to show you that. Everybody should know how to set up ballparks. And I know I've done a bunch of tutorials. Others have online as well. And we have our Mike Silva, if you want to ask him any questions too. So there we go. Oh, yeah, you like it, JT Dutch. What do you think of that software, man? Are you having fun with it? I mean, that's an amazing. What am I up to tomorrow morning? Depends. Define morning there, Dwayne. If you define morning, I can tell you. Todd says, I need an entire tutorial on how to bring in players and draft them onto teams. Oh, you're talking about MLB The Show. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? So, and Legends says, oh, around 10 o'clock? I don't know. Hopefully watching you play baseball, Dwayne. I'm free at 10 o'clock. Joe Murray says the one thing he does like about Baseball Mogul, the scouting reports contain all the career stat lines. Yeah, I mean, I buy it every year. I haven't played it, but I do know that it has that. I'm hoping Clay. I want him to actually take season ticket baseball and make it into a PC game and just. But I don't think he's going to do that. I don't know. So it's definitely worth upward. Yeah, it definitely is, JT. It's a great research tool. And the more you dig into it, the more you realize it's like, God, there's like so much stuff I can do here. Todd used to talk about making teams, right? How about teams with like, the highest RBIs, in a season versus highest stolen or whatever. And that software allows you to do that. And it works quickly. And the size of the database is huge because it's like out of the park baseballs, right? Many databases. Every player for every year. So it's the entirety of baseball history, and it's free updates in perpetuity, or at least until as long as they stay in business. So, and how to mute Dan Plesac at MLB 20. Well, you can turn off the announcers, Todd, but I don't think you can't just, unfortunately, you can't just mute one broadcaster. It's too bad. Would I want to manage the Pirates versus the Braves? Yeah, sure. I'd be do what Ken did. Type into chat. Sure. I'd love to. Most of those 1961 Pirates are mostly the 1960 Pirates, so I'm pretty familiar with them. Love to. I think I saw Clinton Parks come in here at some point. Maybe he ducked in and ducked out. Anyhow. All right. Any questions here? Legends, I know you know how to do this because you've done Out of the Park for a long time. But anybody else, do you have any more? Do you have any questions or anything about player import or anything about this? Another thing too is if you forget your abbreviations that you've done for a team, there's ways to do that. So you can go into a team home screen. So if I go to act as, because maybe I forgot that for the Boston Braves, I called them BON. Well, if I do that, boom, I can do that. Now I can see, oh yeah, that was the abbreviation. But you do not have to be on your team's home screen to do what I'm doing here. You can just be any old team you want. You can even start unemployed if you want. But I don't know if you guys have any questions. Minor league system. I wouldn't worry too much about the minor league system. You can populate the minors, by the way, in this too, if you want, with historical players. We'll go back to our Chicago Cubbies. These are our top players, of course. So go here, and there we see our. Yeah. Any questions? And can Heidi drop some of those heavy? Oh my God. Oh my God. He wants, yeah. Oh wait, that's GT. Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5. Can you really say Clinton is ducking? I mean, he's crooked for sure. It's a duckling. Oh my God, it's ducking. So we got Bernie coming up in about 15 minutes. And I don't know what he's going to be doing tonight, but it'll always be fun. It will always be fun. Bernie's such a good guy. So hang out for a few minutes. Dwayne says Netflix has a great documentary about Yogi called "Ain't Over Till It's Over." I have to check that when I resubscribe. But there's all kinds of, and I'm going through StreamYard, so I can't do sound. But there's a couple other really interesting simulators on there. Ken, there's a specific chair simulator that, well, if you saw it, let me put it this way. I can't show it on YouTube, but there's a very interesting simulator out there. And I thought of you when it came up because you have like in Steam, you have this sort of thing. It's a queue where it'll run 10 games by you. And if you're interested, you can add it to your wish list and what have you. So, and I don't have any filters on mine. So this particular chair simulator came up and it's like, this has Ken Castro's name written all over it. It's I'll message it to you, Ken, what the name of it is. So, because I can't even show you the Steam page for it. I would get my ass knocked out of the park because you're not allowed to show any sort of bits and bobs on YouTube. So, it's not pesky pole. All right. Well, Big Clue and whoever else is interested, I'll get this big database file zipped up that has everybody in baseball history, and you can go to town. Question: I'm creating an all-time franchise rosters, 40 per team, and I got to think about how to handle Ohtani and the Angels since he needs to hit and pitch. Can out of the park baseball accommodate that? Yeah, sure can. And if you want proof, just pick a Red Sox season in the 19 teens. So, yeah. More bits, fewer bobs, please, says Big Clue. Yep. Nothing like an expensive lap dance that maids pay for. Oh, hell. That's going to be part of the convention next year if we do it. When we do it, no ifs. So cousin, as a thank you for you sending me this bats roster, I will work on this and get it to you in a private message. I don't know, if you want other people to have it for Out of the Park Baseball, I'll put it as a zipped quick start when it's done. Generally in Discord, you decide because you're the one that bought this, and I have it for baseball for Windows, so I don't feel badly about using it myself, but it's up to you. But yeah, as Joe Murray says, Al Park would have to. Again, Babe Ruth, prime example there. So, okay, yeah, it'll be done, Ken. It shouldn't take long. I put on some good music, and I can knock out a few teams a night. I don't have anything to do since I'm not going to be broadcasting every night anymore for a while. I get home and I can just, sit here, put on some music, and do some teams and get them done for you. And it's kind of getting me into the bug of, like, okay, now that I understand this process completely, now I have like a billion ideas that I want to do. And Out of the Park Baseball. Part 3 coming down the line will be how to specify a range of years and draft players onto those teams. And then as the league evolves, how they'll come into those teams. So similar to what our friend Legends is doing. Similar, but not the same. So you can do that too, but you got to dig really deep and stuff like that. And that's not within the scope of what I'm doing here to even go into that. Bernie, I'm just on here doing this, waiting for you. You said you're going to go on at 10 o'clock. So we got like about a few minutes. And then we'll come over to your house and watch some baseball. Yeah. Oh, 8 likes. Thanks, guys, for liking. Appreciate it. Again, if you have any questions about this, if you're a member of the Discord, put them in the Discord. If there's some things in the first stream or the first today's tutorial that I did, part 1, that was unclear because of my squiffy internet, let me know. I'll go over how to start one of these from the start to this point in a very quick video. Without commentary, I won't go live. I'll just do it. Then you'll have it nice and convenient. I'll be glad to do it if this would get more people playing out of the park baseball and also getting out of just the I'm going to play X season 500 different times, then job accomplished. Wanted to recommend a YouTube channel before I go. There's a guy called the Baseball Professor or something, and he has a series of really, really, really good lectures on baseball. It's a YouTube channel. And he's done like 4 lectures so far in the dead ball era. Pretty good stuff, but I guess he's going through baseball, period. I don't know where he's a professor. Not too many people are going to put their real credentials up there, but they're good. It's a good channel. Check it out. Oh, I'm already done, Bernie. I've kind of shown this was the mass import video, so I've already shown how to do it. And all you'd be watching me do now is just adding teams to a text file and then importing them, which is pretty stultifying. You have to watch both in the beginning again. Okay. If it would be convenient for you, Dwayne, what I'll do is record one that's all in one. It won't be live, so that way I can just upload it and that will be there. But in the meantime, if you have questions, Dwayne, just ask me, and I will be very, very, very happy to answer. I have not seen it. I have not. I'm a huge Ken Burns fan, but I have not seen that one yet, cousin. I will though. Geez, in fact, I'll tell you what. I haven't even seen Extra Innings yet on the baseball documentary, and I'm subscribed to Amazon, so it's on Amazon. All the Ken Burns documentaries. Haven't seen it yet. I wish he would do one on the First World War. I'm still waiting for a great First World War documentary in that Ken Burns style, and nobody's really done one quite yet. I was hoping that maybe there might have been one that maybe the British had done, but I haven't seen anything to that level yet. I mean, the man's in a league of his own. So, yeah. All right, Bernie, if you're about ready, man, I'm going to go ahead and sign off and watch you play baseball while being just happy in this community. Yeah, I mean, that's JT just says that Extra Innings was disappointing, but the Vietnam War is absolutely, yeah. Ken Burns is just incredible, and I think he really changed the paradigm for creating documentaries. He's amazing. If you don't mind a marathon listening session, says Big Clue, check out Don Harmon's Hardcore History podcast for the best coverage of the history of the First World War. Okay, I'll check it out. If it's about the First World War, I have no problem with listening to something very, very long about probably the most brutal conflict in the face of the earth and the one that defined our modern world, much more so than World War II. And there's other reasons I'm interested in it as well. Anyhow, enough of that. Bernie wants to go on to 10. Let's do that. In my job, it's Don Carlin. Okay, good, because I wouldn't have found Don Harmon might have been a guy who was who created these certain types of simulators that Cousin Ken liked. So Don, is it Carlin? Yeah. Okay. All right, JT, I'll check that out. There's a cool series called Apocalypse World War One that was okay, but yeah, Don Carlin, as in as in George Carlin, but his first name's Don. All right. The National League. Ken says he was watching the NHL Heritage Classic from Edmonton, and Nickelback was the second period act. What the hell? Well, what are you going to do, Canucks? What can I say? So there was this great, well, it wasn't great. It was a good movie, a great homage to the Beatles, though, that came out, what, about 4 years ago? It's called Yesterday. And so there's this weird thing that happens, and it's like the Beatles never existed, except this one musician remembers their music, and he's playing. People are like, oh, that's amazing, that's amazing, that's amazing. What I wish for is a world that Nickelback never existed. Shit band. With that said, sorry to any Nickelback fans there, but Nickelback doesn't understand dynamics in music, and that it's the silence between the notes that's as important as the notes, and on and on and on. That. It's called Blueprint for Armageddon. I would definitely look that up, JT Dutch. Oh, I know, the Yellow Submarine thing, Dwayne. Love it. Love it. Love it. Last question before we go. Would you guys be interested, if there was something on the line, or even if not, a little baseball trivia night every once in a while, just to have fun and get the brains going? Let me know what you think. Okay. Hoping what? Oh, let me see. Can I do this from StreamYard? I should be able to. Oh no, but I can show everybody the link. I keep forgetting in StreamYard I can show everybody's comments. Yeah, a little bit of baseball trivia. It'll be fun. Just even for shits and giggles, every once in a while I'll offer a prize. Maybe there might be somebody out there that wants a copy of Action PC Baseball or something, just to engage. It's not to buy anybody off, but if it brings a few more into the channel that people are serious baseball fans, or let's even say serious sports fans, why not? And it's just a way for us to have some fun. Hopefully Friday night, Mike Silva will be available again. We'll have another baseball chin wag. Maybe we can get a couple of you other outlaws on, and we'll have Diamond Mine Baseball running in the background again, just like we did before. Okay. All right. Big Clue, JT Dutch, Dwayne Martz, Cousin Ken Castro, Legend Sports Universe, Bernie Strom, Joe Murdy, Todd B. I think we got Robert, RGO Network, Doug Hunt. Going back. I think we got everybody. I think we did. So who was in the ball? Oh, Sakuni 007 was here for a while. Clinton Parks was here for a while. Sakuni 007. Mike was here, and I completely missed him. I feel like a total jerk. Sorry, Mike. Get involved in these things, and life sucks. Joe Murdy first in the ballpark tonight. So, guys, thank you very, very much, and let's go to Barney's house. Until the next time we meet, see you around the batting cage, guys. All right, bye-bye.